Okay, so we finished section M of the manual, and we sanded her down, smoothed her out, cleaned her off, and we're ready to move on. So we're gonna put her aside for now. All right, and we're gonna move on to section N. We get to have, this is gonna be really fun, because check it out, we get to start putting all these little ornamental things on the ship. So we're going to build what I'm thinking is the captain's quarters, and it's going to hang off the edge of the ship. And I think, I'm not sure, but somewhere around here is where the lanterns are going to go. But we'll see. That's further down the road. But look at all the little ornate, little detail things that we're going to put on, right down to the spokes. For the handrails, they're little skeletons. It's pretty cool. So I made the notes, I got it ready for, and this will be for section N, and then it kind of goes on to section O, but the painting, but that's next time. So this is 15, section N of the manual, and we're going to start to assemble the captain's quarters. So we'll start with the bottom. We'll put the wall on, we'll put the support in it. Then we're gonna plank areas on the sides where the windows are. And we gotta sand that down, and we'll actually put the upper level on. Once that's in place, what we'll do is we're gonna add the, we're gonna test fit it in the back of the ship. So we might have to adjust it, sand it, file it a little bit for it to slide in. And I'm thinking it's going to be able to be put on and taken off just to get access to the battery compartment. And once it's fit into the ship, we're going to put the that big wall that goes all the way up on the back on, and then we're going to add all the ornaments left to go onto that. And you get a lot of cool stuff. Then they want us to use putty and kind of muck up this area. Let's see. The area right here, where they want us to like just make it look like terrible. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna see if I don't know. The whole ship is so beautifully ornamented. I don't know if I just want to slap a bunch of that crap on it, but we'll see when we get there. Once that's done, then we have to put the little figures around the edges. And what that's actually gonna do is that's gonna be supports for the handrails. Once the handrails are all set, then we have to cut the clear plastic. And what that's going to do is that's going to cover the windows and the door. But then we have to cut the same section, the same size of the screen. We got to paint the screen black, and then we have to actually glue it to the clear plastic. And then we paint the section inside and out. It'll be black, and I think I'm going to airbrush it. It'll make it look better. And then we dry brush it with the white, kind of like what we did for the bulkheads. So that's the plan. So what we need to do now is we need to get parts N1 and 2. So we're going to need N1, N2, and N3. So here's N1, N3, and N2. All right, I'm gonna take our glue, and so let's take, I want the nicer side. Let's see. Looks like this is the better side. Don't worry about the writing because we're just going to, we're gonna paint over that, so. Same thing with the wall. Let's see, where's the best? Yeah, this one, this side does not look as good, so this will be the inside. So this is gonna go so. And it's going to actually lean back. Yeah, it's going to lean all the way back. There are a couple of pieces. We got to get N4 and N5 that are going to go and form the walls. Let's see, is that on this piece? We have two N5. So the N5s are right here. So we're going to have to get those, and we got to go hunting for the N4s. These are the N4s. All right. Okay, so the rounded edge will go on this side. And this is going to go right up against the wall. And then this section of the wall is going to go right up against it. We'll do the same thing for the other side. So now when we put these on, let's see which side we'll do this. Again, I want the better side facing outward. So this side looks better. So this is going to go just like this. And we're going to do the same thing now for the other side. So we're going to give this a minute to dry. And again, I made the mistake thinking that this piece was glued. It wasn't. This was just to keep it in place at the angle it needed in order to glue it, because this is going to go in to the side of the ship. So I'm going to give this a minute, and we're going to let everything get nice and set with the glue. So now there are pieces also, we need N6 that has to go on top, and they'll go on the sides. So let's find the N6. I just saw them somewhere. There they are. These are the N6s. Okay, so these are going to go along the same lines as the bottom ones. And it's going to go just like this. So what I want to do is I want to put a little wee bit of glue. And against this side. Because this is going to actually go up against the wall. See how that's starting to come together? All right, we'll let this set for a minute. And what we got to do now is, all right, we have to put N7s over here. And that's actually going to be like a little wraparound to continue the wall. And that's going to go up against the side of the ship. So I know the N7s are really I'm also going to glue the side that it's going to go up against. So we're going to take one, the first one, and we're going to put it right up against. Just like that. I'll put a little bit of glue now on the inside of the plank. Okay, see how we did the planking? I guess I needed 4, not 5. So you can see the inside, and I guess this is going to go up against the ship on the side. So we got to wait for that to dry. So I think we'll do the same thing now for the other side, and since I already got one cut, let me see if it's going to be long enough or if we have to make another measurement. It should be the same. Yep. Okay, so we're going to need a total of 4, so I need 3 more of these. Alright, I want to do the same thing. And now we're going to do it on the other side. So I think I'm going to start. We're going to glue the top. And I want to glue the side of the wall. And then eventually the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing now. We're going to put these planks on. And in between each one, I want to put a little bit of glue on the plank itself. There. So now we got to let this dry pretty good, or dry very well, so that way there we can sand it down and think about putting the top layer on. Okay. So we got to wait for this to dry. We're going to do the sides and the top. So let's get the next section ready. Let me cover up the glue. Look how cool that is. N9. Alright, we'll get to that. Let's clean this up. Okay, you know what? Since we got this going, one thing I want to address, because what they want us to do they want us to cover this with like a putty so we wouldn't see the planking. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't like that gooey look. I like wood. I like the framing. I think what I'm going to do is, because we also have to do the corners, I want to cover up the corner because there's nothing that's going to go over it. So what we're going to do is we're going to frame it in. So I don't want to use anything per se from the Dutchman. That I don't know if it's going to be extra or not. So what I'm going to do is I've got a couple of ships that we worked on. Let me see, where is it? We did the Halco 1/100 scale sailing vessel. And we've done the, well, we're working on the bounty in 1/200 scale, but I've got, let's see, I have some extra planks. And I think that these would look really good on a Dutchman. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the walls, and I'm gonna put moldings on the walls. I don't like that gooey putty thing. I don't want to do that. So let's put all this aside now. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to mark it up. And it's also, because it's going to be at such an angle, I'm going to cut it a little bit at an angle. So let's start with this. See, that looks pretty good, just like that. Maybe that was a little bit too much. All right, let's bring it in a little bit. Looks really good. And I need my pencil, and we'll go right about here. And that's going to go right up that way. We're going to go right up against the corner. That looks good. And we'll actually sand that down when we sand the top down. So let's put a little bit of glue on the corner. And let's see. We've got to go all the way up to the edge. See, I think that's going to look cool. I'm going to like that a lot better than that gooey kind of, that's one that's going to go along the sides. I like the wood look better. Again, this is not the instructions. This was just what I decided to do. So now let's get the other section. And I'm not sure if there's going to be, yep, there's an angle to it. So let's do a little bit of an angle. That looks good. All right, right about where my thumb is. So we'll do it here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Yeah, look how that looks. I think that's going to look so much cooler than putting that gunk. And I think I'll put a strip on the bottom as well. And do we need to do one for the top? Yeah, we'll do one for the top as well. But see how this is going to look? Where it looks like it's like a frame for the structure. I'd rather do that than do the putty. So let's do the same thing for the other side. So we have to take another section and we're going to put an angle on it. Here. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better. So I'm going to think about doing a little area that's going to go up against this section now. So I think this looks better. Like I said, this is my idea, my alteration, and I used this from another kit, so I'm not using parts from the Dutchman, but I think that looks better. See what I mean? Let me show you guys. I'll put a picture of it. Where did I just see it? Here. See, they want you to put this goop on it. So see how it's gonna look? And it looks like sloppy and like, I guess I get what they're going with if it was like at the bottom of the ocean, but nothing else looks like that. Everything else is smooth looking, like wood. And see how it's gonna look? This is what they told me to do, and this is the way I thought it would look better. So I used my own framing in. Again, that's just what I did. So let's do the section for this side now. Alright, so I trimmed it down. Now what I'll do is we'll sand it down so we can put the top on. There we are. So let's test fit the top. Is that what we got to do next? Yes. So now we have to put the top on, and the top is going to go on just like this. So that looks like it's going to fit pretty well. Let me show you guys. So we're going to bring it right down like that. And I'm wondering if we should put a little bit of, if we should use the clamps. And then maybe just a little bit of the reinforcing glue. Just like that. So I think what I want to do is now, while we wait for this to dry, see the top, and you know what? Let me get a piece, because I want to make sure that that little piece that I'll put on won't interfere with the window. So let's start to think about all those pieces that are going to go on. See, I think that's going to look a lot better. All right, and on this side, the fans will be going in the opposite direction. Okay, so we'll put the face on, the window. Yeah, and it's really not going to interfere, so that's good. All right, so I'm going to glue this into place now. There we go. There. So that's framed in. So I think what I want to do now is we have to actually put that other top on the back, but I want to see how it's going to fit into the ship first. So you guys remember we had put a section that we left without any planking on it, and this was actually done for this to go on. So we just kind of loosely fit it. Yeah. So what this is designed to do is the end, because remember, we're going to have to get access to the batteries. So It's just that this is going to be really heavy, and there's really not a lot to lock it into place. And this thing is going to be pretty heavy. I'm going to have to actually figure out a way to keep this in place, because remember, this isn't going to be glued. And then where's that other piece? Because we have to put another piece on that section. Actually, I think I'll get that right now. That would be the N9. So let me get that. Just like that. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Because we're going to have to take into account the angle that it's going to go on. Just like that. So I'm going to hold it for a moment because I want the glue to start to set. That does look pretty cool. Okay, now comes the time where we're going to start to put all the little goodies on. So you can see how she's starting to look. So let's start with the port side. So when it comes to the window, again, I didn't want to do the putty. I framed it in instead. I think it looks better. So it looks like we have to glue. Let's see, the face is going to be forward. So I just saw that. Here it is. You can see the guy's got his tongue, so that's going to be going forward, as well as the inside part. All right, we'll do the same thing now for the other side. And again, his face is going to be facing forward. Look at that, man. That look wild. Like I said, with all these metal pieces, this back is going to be very heavy. I want to line it up with the other side. That's pretty wild. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to glue the blocks together for the step. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the step, and we're going to put that up against the wall. Because even a ghost needs a step to go into the captain's quarters from his observation deck. Alright, now that's the skull, so there's something that's going to go above that. And that's going to be N15, and I just saw that. Is that what this is? Nope. This thing is already starting to get heavy. Alright, so now it looks like we've got Well, let me do the middle piece on top first before I put the flags on. So that would be... All right, now we can put the flags on. So it looks like the flags are going to go... Look at that. That looks so wild. All right, so we got to wait for that to dry a little bit. And what do we got to do next? It looks like, because I had already done the framing in. Actually, you know what? I want to wait for all this to dry. So I'm going to let this dry. So this will be part A of N. Because a little squishy, and these things are heavy. So what I want to do is I want to let it dry really good before we start putting on the handrails. So my friends, till my next video, thank you so much for watching. And I'll talk to you guys soon.